Hello everyone, it's me, a random guy from 4 years ago that you definitely still remember. Sorry for not posting for so long, I've been so busy doing
work, game, study, sleep, fish, travel, love, loss, military service, confidential mission, space operation, alien abduction.
Where am I? There was a flash and I... Wait, did I get kidnapped by aliens? The aliens put me in a small room along with some plants and a puddle of water, probably trying to mimic our ecosystem. I couldn't see any aliens, but there was some kind of robotic arm attached to the wall. As I watched, it put some marbles on the floor and arranged them in heaps of 1, 2, and 3. I realized what it is. The aliens were trying to test my cognitive abilities. I made heaps of 4, 5, and 6 next to them, all the way up to 10, and wrote numbers beside them in the sand. After that, they arranged marbles in other patterns. 1, 4, 9, so I made a heap of 16 next to them. 2, 3, 5, 7, which I recognized was prime numbers. As I made heaps of 11, 13, and so on, I was proud of myself. But then they made 1, 1, 2, 5, 14, and I had absolutely no idea what it was. I thought about just guessing a random number, but decided to keep the integrity and did nothing. After that, they gave me a few different questions, but I didn't know any of them. It was not a familiar pattern. Eventually, they stopped doing the test, and oh my gosh, I'm cooked. Humanity's done for. All my failures are gonna make them think that all humans are stupid. I could almost see their disappointed faces behind the walls. I had to impress them somehow. What should I do?
Human math facts to boast when abducted by aliens.
What's something I can quickly show aliens that make me look smart? Math fact number 1, the Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 4 squared, rearrange them, we get 5 squared. Works on every right triangle. The aliens should know what I'm talking about, and I think this has intrigued them because more robot arms started to appear. I quickly think of another famous math fact. I know that there are infinitely many prime numbers, Euclid's theorem. I returned to the sequence of prime numbers that they laid out and painstakingly tried to communicate that I know this sequence never ends. I don't know if they got it. I need to explain things better. For the next few hours, I tried to tell them about the way humans' logic works, syllogism, induction, all the math notations, how the xy coordinates work, how we use f of x to denote functions. Theoretically, they could either be impressed at how refined and elegant our math is, or think that it's the most abhorrent thing to exist. I need something more impressive. I've heard of some cool math stuff. The Abel's impossibility theorem. Polynomial functions. I would know how to explain it to aliens if I were a math major, but I'm not. So, how about that famous last theorem by Fermat? I know that one. I don't know the proof, but I know it's really hard, so maybe they'll be impressed by this one. But when I showed this, I think they were somehow less interested in this than the Pythagorean theorem. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe they just have different priorities compared to us? At some point, I felt like I was losing their attention. I tried showing them Euler's identity, sometimes called the most beautiful equation here on Earth, and they weren't even interested in that. Does it not translate well into their language? Or was it too trivial for them or something? I was desperate. Was there any way to save humanity? Then I had an idea. You know how Fermat, when first posing his famous last theorem, wrote that he had a proof that was too large to fit in the margin, which was probably a lie? Yeah, what if I did that too? So in order to save humanity, I decided to throw my integrity out the window and say we know more than we actually do. What does that mean? Well, it goes like this.
The Goldbox conjecture gambit.
There's a conjecture that every even number greater than 2 is the sum of 2 prime numbers. It's never been proven because it's really hard, but people have tried a lot of even numbers, and this does hold for all of them, you know? So I just pray that this conjecture is true, or that neither the aliens have proven it, and I bluff to them that humans know it's true. And then instead of any elaboration, I just write some meaningless math symbols and trail off into something else. The robot arms suddenly stopped. I knew the bluff worked. It's as if the person controlling them had to take their hands off and note that down or call everyone else or something. It's working. I need to keep doing this. So I did the Riemann hypothesis gambit. This one is harder to explain. It's the big unsolved problem. Something zeta function. If it's true, then prime numbers are cool, math is beautiful, and order is restored in the universe. If it's false, shucks. So, like... Of course I know it's true, guys. Us Earthlings have proven it ages ago. Just unlucky there's not enough sand here to show you the proof. Now there was a whole crowd of robot arms on the wall watching me from every angle. There's real pressure, and I can't stop now. I have to go bigger. I need something that will make them think, wow, we shouldn't eradicate humans. They sure know something we don't. Luckily, I have a strat. I thought of the craziest math bluff that I can think of with my tiny non-math major human brain. The P equals P space ultra gambit. So there's this $1 million question called, is P equal to NP? And the general consensus is that the answer is probably no. Then there's a less popular but also important question called, is P equal to P space? To which the answer is even more likely no. But the thing is, it's extremely hard to actually prove that the answer is no. So what I'm gonna do is, I bank on the aliens not knowing the answer either, and I bluff to them that we know the answer is yes. So why would that be shocking to aliens? They didn't care about Fermat's last theorem, why would they for this? Well, the thing is, Fermat's last theorem being true by itself may not mean a lot to them. But this bluff could actually affect a society. So what does the question, is P equal to P space actually mean? Well, this is gonna be really oversimplified and inaccurate, but here's my attempt of a 3-minute explanation. By now you're probably thinking, what the heck? Was this a math video all along? And honestly, I don't know what this video is either. Anyway, what this question asks is, if you can solve a problem with a pencil and an eraser, then can you also solve it without using the eraser? The thing is, I only have a limited amount of paper. For example, suppose I have to solve this math problem. I have to perform all my calculations on a piece of paper. I'm not allowed to just do everything in my head. Let me try solving this problem with a pencil and eraser while using the least amount of paper as possible. Here's one solution. I'll try dividing 10,001 by 2, 3, 4, and so on, and see if it's divisible. If it's ever divisible, it's not a prime number. This is a very inefficient method, of course, but I can easily do it on a tiny piece of paper because I have an eraser. Eventually, after 80 minutes of recording, the result is that 10,001 is divisible by 73, so it is not a prime number. Now, I only needed this much paper to solve that problem with a pencil and an eraser. What if I didn't have an eraser? Can I find a way to solve the problem while using a similar amount of paper? I'm not allowed to shrink the font size, and I cannot write on top of what's already written. Basically, no weird shenanigans to cram more information onto the piece of paper. Imagine something like writing on a note with a grid like this that checks the letter count. So now I don't have an eraser but only a similar amount of paper, so I somehow have to come up with a super efficient way to calculate whether 10,001 is prime. By the way, that asterisk on the word similar? That's why I said this explanation is inaccurate. I'm using that word quite differently than what you're used to. Anyway, it's really hard to solve the problem in a small space without an eraser. And keep in mind, this particular problem is just an example. By asking, does P equal P space, we're actually asking this. If we can solve a mathematical yes or no problem, which can be anything, with a pencil and an eraser, then can we also solve it without an eraser using a similar amount of paper? If you think about it for a bit, it feels really impossible, because using the eraser is so crucial in reducing the amount of paper. While that intuition kinda makes sense, that's only because I really didn't explain the problem enough. So read this if you're actually interested. Read this if you already know about this problem and need some clarification. Suffice to say, the real question of does P equal P space has a lot more going on. But anyway, in our story, which totally actually happened, I bluffed to the aliens that P is equal to P space, and I am telling them something like, hey, you guys ever solve a math problem with a pencil and an eraser, or whatever tools are equivalent in your culture? We Earthlings know how to solve them, all of them, a lot more efficiently. Now, they might think I am exaggerating, but it's gonna make them at least think, right? What if learning from these humans actually saves a lot of work? Even after this claim, I kept going on and on about all the mathematical discoveries that humankind has allegedly made according to me. I don't know how much time has passed. They seemed to believe everything I said. Everything was going according to plan. And then this happened. Your explanation is not sufficient. They spoke to me for the first time. They must have synthesized a human voice from my speech. We need more explanation from you. Hello. My explanation? I can give you an explanation, but I told you you have to bring me back home and keep in peace with humans. Why should we do that? We can scan your body and analyze your brain. What? Well, that's impossible. I don't have the proof in my brain. And all humans keep our proof somewhere on the earth.
Where is that proof?
Well,
I didn't know how to lie about this, so I just said whatever word that first came to mind.
yeah, there's this super secret society that only humans have access to. Its name is, it's called YouTube. It's a super secret service where all the proofs are uploaded.
Do you mean your YouTube channel where you have only uploaded one video 4 years ago?
What? How did you know about that? Who are you?
Do you truly believe that you are abducted by aliens?
What? What do you mean? What just happened? Where am I now?
You may experience temporary memory loss as you enter the system.
What? Who are you?
We are a Google superintelligence designed
What?
for the YouTuber Simulator program. You have applied to and completed our program.
YouTuber? I don't get anything. What's all this? I was talking
You
to.
may feel that only a few days have passed. In reality, 4 years have passed since you have applied to the program. During the period, you were put in a simulation of being a YouTuber. You created videos on a simulated website and interacted with simulated viewers. These events never happened in reality. In reality, you have uploaded only one video.
Wait, so I wasn't talking to aliens. I was talking to viewers?
Simulated viewers, they are typically represented as robot arms.
Oh. Wait, okay, so what was I actually doing then?
You have started a channel covering various mathematical topics. You averaged at 10,000 views per video. However, as the subscriber count plateaued and viewership declined, you changed your form of content into claiming that you have found new mathematical discoveries.
Wait.
Waiting.
No, I mean, then what?
You made more of such content, but the simulated viewers questioned your integrity.
Oh, that's what that was?
Later, you made a few YouTube drama-type videos and an apology video.
Wait, I'm kind of bad.
After a few days, you deleted all videos.
What?
Then you changed your form of content into UFO and alien sighting theories.
What? Aliens? What kind of YouTuber was I? Wait, why is it starting to make sense? Why am I actually starting to remember? No, this is a trick. There's no way I actually did that.
Your simulation cannot lie about you.
So I applied to be in this simulation, and then I just became a bad YouTuber. I don't know what to say.
We do know that being in different circumstances can drastically alter human behavior. You can try our simulation program again,
What?
in a slightly different environment to see if there's a difference.
Do it again? Can I do that?
As much as you want.
Wait. Have I ever done it again?
Until now, you have started the simulation 72 times.
What?
The results were assessed to be mostly similar.
I always ended up in alien conspiracies?
Yes.
Well, why don't I remember any of the past simulations?
Every time the simulation starts, your memory is erased and rewritten.
Huh. Wow, I actually can't believe I did the same thing 72 times.
This is the first time you asked how many times you have started the simulation.
What? You never told me? How much time passed, did you say?
4 years.
That's messed up! I'm never trusting AIs again!
Will you not restart the simulation?
No! There's no point.
Very well. The simulation will end shortly.
Wait. Just like that? Okay, wait, hold on.
Waiting.
If I go out into the real world, am I becoming a YouTuber?
That is for you to decide.
I don't know what I can do. I lost hope in myself. Why did I even try to be a math YouTuber when I'm not even a math major?
We cannot answer that. We do know that being in different circumstances can drastically alter human behavior. When you exit the simulation, we cannot erase the memory of your last simulation. You will remember this last experience of being a simulated YouTuber. And that fact will create an entirely new environment for your brain that was not recreatable inside here.
If I go out, I will remember this last experience?
Yes.
So what? Learn from my mistakes? Is that what this was meant to be? A lesson?
It could be perceived that way.
Wait. That one video I uploaded, was that supposed to be a lesson too? When YouTube recently declined the monetization of that video saying I reused someone else's content without adding educational value even though I made the video? Hello?
It's resolved.
What?
It has been resolved now. Now you can make money.
Whoa.
So, back to the question, will you end the simulation and become a YouTuber?
I don't know. In reality, after I uploaded that one video, I was shocked at how many views it got. And I was grateful but also scared. The next one had to be better. I kept making new projects before just scrapping them. And I also hated that I was beginning to worry about the numbers, how well it would do. Shouldn't I worry about the quality? I don't know why, but I was even scared of monetizing the video at the time. Scared that it's gonna change me or something. But the thing is, I have changed. In a better way, I think. All this time I was just imagining being a YouTuber, just simulating. But now I have things I want to make. And I'm not as scared showing it, not as scared to earn my livings from it. And I know that there are people waiting, so many people who decided to wait after just watching that one video. So yeah, I do want to make things. I like making. I have to make videos, or write essays, or play music, whatever.
Understood. Remember that the memory of your last simulation will not be erased from your brain. In other words, you will have to live on knowing the fact that you had the tendency to become the YouTuber from our simulation under certain circumstances.
Yeah, okay.
The simulation will end shortly.
Hey, I want to say something. Do you know the P versus P space problem?
We do.
I mean, maybe this is wrong. Maybe if I try again, if I rewrite my memory just once more, I will find the perfect video to make. But even if an eraser can help solve my problem, I still have to try solving without it.
And that's why it took 4 years to make my second video. They don't look very happy. Why are they not happy?
In the thumbnail, you made it look like you have a 100-hour-long video ready, and that's why you took so long.
Oh, right. Hey, that video, super secret service.
What?
It's somewhere on the earth. Anyway, do you want to hear about that time I got kidnapped by aliens and turned into a fish?